You could walk 10,000 steps a day, eat smaller meals, and still feel like your belly fat is barely moving. And the frustrating part? You may not be doing anything wrong. The problem might not be how much you walk, it might be when. Because when you wake up, your body is in a very specific state. Your insulin, the hormone that controls whether your body stores or releases fat, is at its lowest point of the entire day. Your overnight fuel is running low, and your body may be more open to using stored fat than at any other moment in your day. This is the morning window. Walk during it, before eating, and your body has to reach into its reserves. But here is what most people do not know. There is one small thing, something that feels completely harmless, that most people do before they even leave the house, and it quietly changes what your body burns during the entire walk. Today, I am going to show you exactly what that is, how long you need to walk, what intensity works best, and the one morning habit that cancels the fasted effect before you even start.
Why belly fat is stubborn. To understand why any of this matters, we first need to understand why belly fat feels so stubborn in the first place. For many people, especially after 40, belly fat feels like the last guest at the party. Everything else seems to leave first. Your face gets a little leaner, your arms change, your legs respond, but the waistline stays. And that can make you feel like your body is fighting against you. But here is the truth. Belly fat is not just a passive storage tank sitting there doing nothing. It is active tissue. It responds to your hormones, your stress levels, your sleep, your food timing, and your daily movement. And one of the biggest signals it responds to is insulin.
The insulin signal. Insulin is not bad. You need it. It moves energy from your bloodstream into your cells. But when insulin is higher, your body is generally less focused on releasing stored fat. It is more focused on dealing with the energy that is already coming in. Think of insulin like a traffic signal. When food comes in, especially sugar or carbohydrates, the signal changes. Your body says, use this incoming fuel first. That is completely normal. But it also means your body is less likely to reach into stored fat during that time. Now compare that to what happens first thing in the morning. You have been asleep for 7, 8, maybe 10 hours. You've not eaten. Your body has been running quietly through the night, using stored energy to keep your brain, heart, and organs working. By morning, the quick fuel from your last meal is much lower. Insulin is usually at one of its lowest points of the day, and your body may be more open to using stored fat as part of its energy mix. This is where fasted walking becomes interesting. Not magical, interesting.
The science. This idea is not just a fitness theory. Researchers have actually studied what happens when people exercise before breakfast compared with after breakfast. In one well-known study, participants performed the same morning cardio session. Same type of exercise, similar pace, similar duration. The only difference was timing. One group ate breakfast before exercise. The other group exercised on an empty stomach. And the fasted group burned more fat during the exercise session. In some measures, around 20% more fat oxidation was observed. But listen carefully. That does not mean they lost 20% more belly fat. It means that during that session, their bodies used more fat as fuel. That distinction matters. Because real fat loss is not about one magic workout. It is about what your body does repeatedly, day after day. Before breakfast, your body may lean more towards stored fuel. After breakfast, it may lean more toward incoming fuel. Same walk, different signal.
The innocent mistake. And this brings us to the one mistake that quietly cancels everything. Most people hear morning walk and think they are doing it fasted. But before they leave the house, they do one tiny thing. They add sweet creamer to their coffee. They take a few bites of banana. They eat one small cracker. They sip a flavored drink. And they think it is so small it does not count. But metabolically, it can count. Because the moment calories, sugar, or carbohydrates come in, your body receives a new message. Food is arriving. Quick fuel is available. And your body shifts toward using that incoming energy first. This does not ruin your whole day. It does not lock your fat cells forever. But it can reduce the fasted effect of that morning walk. So if your goal is to keep the walk truly fasted, keep it simple. Water is fine. Plain black coffee is fine for most people. Plain green tea is fine. But once you add sugar, cream, sweetened creamer, juice, or a snack, it is no longer truly fasted. And please remember this. Any walk is better than no walk. If you can only do a fed walk today, do the fed walk. It is still great for your heart, your blood sugar, your joints, and your mood. But if your specific goal is to use that fasted window, small calories change the signal.
How long to walk? Now, the next question most people have is, how long do I actually need to walk? Because there are two common mistakes here. Either people do too little and expect a big result, or they push too hard and burn out after 3 days. A 5 or 10-minute walk is still good for your body. It can help your mood, it can wake you up, it can help build the habit. But if your goal is to create a stronger fat-burning session, most people do better with 30 to 45 minutes of steady walking. Here is why. In the first few minutes, your body is warming up. Your heart rate rises, your muscles begin asking for more energy. Your fuel system starts to shift. As the walk continues and you settle into a steady rhythm, your body can lean more toward fat as part of its fuel mix. Not because a switch suddenly flips at exactly minute 15, but because continuous low to moderate movement gives your body time to rely more on slower burning fuel. Intensity. Now, let's talk about intensity, because this is where another mistake happens. People think if walking burns fat, running harder must burn even more. But in a fasted state, harder is not always smarter. If you push into intense training on an empty stomach, your body may experience that as a stressor. Your heart rate spikes, your stress hormones rise, and later in the day, you may feel exhausted, irritated, or desperate for sugar. That is not the goal. The goal of fasted walking is not punishment. It is gentle metabolic pressure. You want a pace that feels brisk but controlled. Imagine you are walking to an appointment and you are slightly late. Not sprinting, not gasping, just moving with purpose. Your breathing should be slightly elevated, your heart rate should be up, but you should still be able to speak in short sentences. That is the sweet spot. Low impact, repeatable, sustainable. Hydration and cortisol. There is one more piece people underestimate. Hydration. When you wake up, your body is naturally a little dehydrated. You have gone all night without drinking. And a dehydrated body cannot metabolize fat efficiently. So before your walk, drink a large glass of water. It does not need to be fancy, just water. If you enjoy coffee, plain black coffee can also work well here. Caffeine may slightly increase alertness and make the walk feel easier. But the key word is plain. Black coffee keeps the fasted state. Sweet coffee changes it. Now let's bring cortisol into the picture. Because belly fat is not only about calories and insulin. Stress matters too. Cortisol is your main stress hormone. It helps you wake up, respond to pressure, and mobilize energy. It is not evil. But when stress stays high for too long, your body can become more likely to hold fat around the midsection. Poor sleep,
more cravings, less movement, more late-night snacking. It all adds up. A quiet morning walk can help interrupt that pattern. You step outside, you breathe, you move rhythmically. Your eyes take in natural light. Your nervous system gets a calmer signal. Instead of starting the day stressed, scrolling your phone, rushing into traffic, you give your body a different message. Move first. Breathe first. Get light first. Eat later. That sequence can change how the rest of your day feels.
Medical disclaimer. But I want to be clear about something important. Fasted walking is not for everyone. If you have diabetes, take medication that affects blood sugar, feel dizzy when you skip breakfast, are pregnant, or are recovering from an illness, do not force this. Talk to a healthcare professional first. And if you try it and feel shaky, weak, nauseous, or lightheaded, stop. Eat something. Walk later. A safe walk is always better than a perfect routine. Science to practical transition. Now, the research gives us a direction. It tells us that in a fasted state, walking can pull more energy from stored fat. That the timing of your movement changes the signal your body receives. But a study result and a daily habit are two very different things. So let's close the gap. If you want to try this tomorrow morning, not perfectly, but practically, here is exactly what it looks like. 5-step morning protocol. Step 1. Wake up and drink a large glass of water. Your body is dehydrated after sleep. Start there. Step 2. Avoid all calories before the walk. No sugar, no creamer, no milk, no juice, no snack. Water, plain black coffee, or plain green tea only. Step 3. Walk at a brisk but comfortable pace, moving with purpose, not gasping for air. Step 4. Aim for 20 to 30 minutes if you're a beginner. If you already walk regularly, aim for 30 to 45 minutes. Step 5. Eat a balanced breakfast afterward. And this part matters. Do not finish your walk and reward yourself with a sugar-heavy breakfast. That can undo the bigger picture. Instead, think protein, fiber, and slow energy. Eggs with vegetables, Greek yogurt with berries, oatmeal with protein on the side. A meal that keeps you full and prevents the late morning crash. The compounding effect. Because the goal is not just to burn a little more fat during one walk. The goal is to create a morning that makes the rest of the day easier. Fewer cravings, more stable energy, better food choices, less stress, more consistency. That is where the real transformation happens. Not from one walk, but from the chain reaction that walk creates. Now, imagine this over 30 days. Not perfect, not extreme, just repeated. You wake up, you drink water, you walk before breakfast, you get morning light, you eat a balanced meal afterward. You start the day already having kept one promise to yourself. That changes more than calories. It changes momentum. And momentum is what most fat loss plans are missing. Most people do not fail because they do not know enough. They fail because the plan is too hard to repeat, too strict, too exhausting, too unrealistic. Fasted walking is different. No gym, no equipment, no complicated tracking, no extreme diet. Just a pair of walking shoes, a glass of water, and a quiet decision to move before the day gets noisy.
So tomorrow morning, try this simple experiment. Before breakfast, drink water, step outside, and walk for 20 to 30 minutes at a brisk, comfortable pace. Then notice what changes, not just in your belly, but in your hunger, your cravings, your energy, your mood. Because sometimes the first sign this habit is working is not the number on the scale. It is the feeling that your body is finally cooperating with you again. If you try it, come back and drop one comment. I did the morning walk. That is it. I read every single one. And if you want more simple, science-based explanations like this, no extreme diets, no gimmicks, no complicated tracking, subscribe to the channel. That is exactly what this channel is built for. I will see you tomorrow morning on the walk.